On February 2nd, 2019, Demian Maia returned to the octagon following a loss to Kamaru Usman and 3 consecutive losses to Tyron Woodley, Colby Covington, and Kamaru Usman against Lyman Good at UFC on ESPN Plus 2 in Fortaleza. What I'm going to do is break down what he did to get back in the win column here, how he beat Lyman Good, what Lyman was doing to defend, and how Demian Maia was ultimately able to defeat him. So I'm going to start here early in the first round. This is 20 seconds in. He only throws one punch in the lead up. So what he does is he takes center right away, pushes Good up against the fence, paws out with the jab, just kind of gauge the range. And eventually he's going to shoot in on a single and switch to a double. And that's what we're going to have right here. So shoots in on the single. Good starts to sprawl and get his hips away from the fence. This is a good job by Lyman. So now Maia's got the single leg. He's going to try to run the pipe and drag him back into the fence, or send him back where send it where Good's back is going to go more towards the fence here. So he does that, turns him over, and now he still has his right arm on Good's left leg, but now he's going to reach across with his left arm to cover the hip. Now he's got the double leg. He's looking to clasp his hands together. Appears to have that. Lifts up, drives forward and down. And now from here, what we're going to see from Good is he's going to do everything in his power to get his hips away from Demian Maia and avoid Demian Maia from controlling his hips. And for Demian Maia, he's going to do everything he can to control the hips. Right now, he's below the hips. He's going to look to climb up, while Lyman Good's going to look to wall walk and get out of there. So now, good job by Lyman to wall walk. Demian Maia is going to look to adjust here. Lift the hips up. So now Lyman's still in trouble. He's going to post with that left arm. Still trying to fight and get the hips away. And you're going to see, if you pay attention to Lyman's hips, he's going to keep trying to pull him away and peel him away from Demian Maia. Damian's going to keep trying to climb up and get control of them. So again, you can see him reach for the hip. Lyman's trying to push away. Again, control underneath the hips, but Damian's going to use that to pull him back in and then work his way back up to the hips. So again, we're trying to work away, trying to avoid the hip control. And you can see Maia's just digging down right now, really trying to get control of the hips and keep Lyman on the mat. So working to control the hips. Lyman's pushing away. You can see here framing against the shoulder. He's also framing against the head right before that. So good job by Lyman. This is exactly what you want to do. You want to be able to keep Demian from controlling you on the ground. You want to work your way back up and get this back to standing position. So now he's hooking the legs, so keeping him from actually being able to stand here. Lyman keeps pushing away. Now Damian's lifting up the leg to keep him from standing up again. Kind of falls, and Lyman takes advantage of this. Post, post, post. Now he's going to work his way back up with his back up against the cage. But now Demian gets behind him. So this is really the beginning of the end for Lyman Good here, because now he has to worry both about a takedown and Demian just taking his back from standing. With some wrestlers, they don't like to take the back from standing because it's a position where they could potentially risk losing it, and they don't have the control that a guy like Demian Maia has. But for Demian, he doesn't really care whether he drags you to the mat or whether he just takes your back from standing. He'll finish you either way. So from here, he's got the back. Now he's going to actually try to drag him to the mat here, but in defending the takedown, what Good's going to do is create the space for Maia to actually get his back here. So now he's got the right hook, or the hook with his right leg. As he drags, he's going to create some space right here by the hip, and he's going to sink that hook in. And now he's got the second hook in. So Good either stays on the mat or he stands up. Good move by him to stand up here. And this is going to go on for a little while. So right here, if you look at the clock, there's 3:40 left in the round. He's going to get the finish much later on. So let me get closer to that point. Yes, ESPN Plus isn't the best about moving around. So he's got the back here. Right now, the right arm would be the choking arm. Lyman's defending both hands. So good job there. The left arm is actually the arm that ends up getting it, but right now he's got a 2-on-1 there. He's trying to tuck his chin as well to keep Demian from getting any space, but now it's 2:43 on the clock, so this is about a full minute of him being on the back. So looks to use the right hand, throws a punch just to kind of soften him up here. Now he's switching over to the left hand. And Lyman's not defending right now with this arm. He looks like he's more concerned about the position. But Damian's got a ridiculous squeeze. So right now, that's across. The hand is on the top of the head. In theory, you'd like to get it more behind the back of the head so you can drive the head forward. But Damian's got such a ridiculous squeeze on this that for him, it's not always necessary and it doesn't always matter in the end. But in theory, it could be tighter than it already was. But from here, he's just squeezing down into the jaw. And Lyman's chin actually wasn't, or his chin wasn't up, and where the choke was underneath, he was actually had his chin in. But you can still choke someone when their chin's in or naked choking and just kind of like drive their chin down and into their neck. And that's what Damian's doing here is he's just squeezing really hard on the jaw. It's not 100% clear whether or not this was completely a choke tap or whether there was also a tap where there was a lot of pressure on the jaw. Sometimes you can get it both ways, where you can get people to tap to a choke where they're more concerned about breaking their jaw than they are about being choked unconscious. And it seems like that might have been what happened here. But you get the tap right there. And the victory for Demian Maia. So he's back in the win column. At the end of the fight, he said that he's got 2 fights left on his contract. He's probably going to fight those 2 out and see whether or not he wants to retire from there. I think that makes sense. I don't see him beating Colby, Tyron, or Kamaru Usman. So he's not going to get another shot at the title if he doesn't get through at least a couple of those guys. And at this point, when you're 41, you've done enough. You had a great career. I'd just like to see him fight a couple more guys. He mentioned in the post-fight show fighting Michael Chiesa, who's another guy who likes to grapple. That'd be a fun fight to watch. So for him, I think right now it's just get him a couple more fights against some top guys who aren't exactly just going to sprawl balls, so to speak, with him. Let's see some grappling out of him. It's always fun to watch. And from there, hopefully he ends his career with a win and is celebrated after that, because right now he's tied with Royce Gracie for 10 submissions in the UFC and behind Charles Oliveira for the most in UFC history. So great career from Demian Maia. Good to see him getting back in the win column and not go on a 4-fight losing streak.